Hi, welcome back. In this video, we are going to perform search operation on array. Now, if we are having an array, for suppose this is the array and we are looking for the element 20. Does 20 exist in this array? So how we perform this searching operation, we basically ask from user what element user want to search, or you can hard code it as well. Suppose we are trying to search 20 from this given array. Okay, so this 20 will be compared with each element of array. We will visit each element of array and compare it with 20. Does 20 equals to 11? If not, then check the next element. Is this 20 equals to 22? If yes, so print found. Otherwise, iterate to the next element. As soon as we find the element and it compared to it, or as soon as we reach at the end of the array, exit the loop. That means we will apply the loop and it will iterate from 0 till element found, or till we reach the end, and till we reach the end of the array. Okay, so let us begin. Void search. Okay, I'm creating two methods for search. One method is search one. There are multiple ways to implement it, and I'm going to discuss only two. Okay, so in this method, search one method, we specify the return type void and the method name is search one. And we are just printing a message to user that enters search element. Okay, and let me remove this ln. We have created a variable element, and for the import we use the scanner class object and call the next int method because we are taking the integer input. All right, once you take the input, now we will iterate through this array. That means we are going to use the for loop. For int, and before applying the for loop, I'm creating another variable of data type boolean. Found equals to, initially I stored false. The default data of this found variable, or the value I have assigned to this found variable, is false. Now, I'm using the for each loop or advanced for loop. The format of for each or for advanced loop is you have to use this keyword for, and then you have to um, declare a variable, and then finally after colon give the reference of the array from which you want to access the elements. All right, opening curly bracket and closing curly bracket. How this for each loop work, it basically take one by one element from this array, and it will stop until we reach the end of the array. All right, so inside the block of this array, I'm specifying a condition. The condition is if I equals to element, the element we are looking for, then update the found variable as true and break the loop. Because once we find the element, so there is no need to iterate till the end of the array. All right, what if we the element we are looking for is 1 1, so 1 1 exists at index 0. We already found it at the first iteration, so there is no need to iterate over throughout the array. So we just specify that what if we find the variable, then break the loop, update the found variable and break the loop. Okay, else found equals to false. Now outside this for each loop, I am putting a condition if found, then s out. Excuse me. Uh-huh. S out element found. All right. Else or we can just copy this message and paste it over here and update it accordingly. Element not found, right? Okay, let's call this method inside this main class and main method with the reference of the object of this class. This class is array lab. So we have created object of this class and object name is array1. With the reference of array1, I'm calling this message. Before search method, we call two different methods. First is create and display. In create message, it asks for the size of array. Suppose the size of array is 3 and these are the elements. And in this case, suppose we are looking for 33 element. So 33 does exist, so it says element found. Let us try again and give a different number other than the element exist in array. Suppose now this time we are looking for element 100, or we are searching element 100. So it says 100 not found. Now let's see another way for performing the search operation on array. Return type of this method is integer and the method name is suppose search 2. Okay. In this time, I'm asking from the user for the input. Let me copy these two statements and we apply the for loop, not the for each, but for loop. Int I equals to 0, I less than array length, and then increment I. Okay. Now, if element at index I equals to the element we are looking for, then return that index. Okay. Return that index and finally return -1. Now, look at here, we have a method which is search2. The return type is integer. This method is basically going to return us the index of element we found. Okay. So for suppose this is the given array and we are looking for 30, 33 element. So 33 element exists at index 2. This is 0th index, first and second. So 33 element exists at index 2. Simply user input 33 at this point and a loop will initialize from 0 and it will check either 33 equal to element at index 0. If not, then iterate the loop. I value will be updated. Now it's pointing to 22. Is arrays data at index 1 equals to element? No, because in element right now we are having data 33. All right, then loop will iterate third time and i's value become I will point to the second index, right? So we are having this condition array element at index 2 equals to 33. Yes, now this time condition is true, so it will return I. So it will return I means it will return the position of this value or the index number of this value. It will return as 2, right? And what if the element we are looking for does not exist inside this array? So it will just return -1. All right. As soon as it find the element, it will return I and loop will exit and uh, function function execution will end. Okay. So what if element does not found? It will return nothing inside this loop because we know that return statement is under this if condition. If condition doesn't satisfied, then this return statement will not execute. All right. So finally, after the loop, What if we didn't find the element? In that case, it will return as -1. And what if we find the element? Uh, in that case, obviously, it will return as the index number. So let us call this function. This function is search2, and I'm creating a new variable int index, and whatever the index this method is going to return as, that will be stored inside this index variable. Now I'm applying few condition. If index equals to -1, that means element not found. S out, element not found. Else, S out, element found at index. So index is stored inside this index variable. Give the reference of this index variable. All right. So this is how we call the function. I mean method. We call this method search2, and whatever the index it will return as, that will be stored inside this index. Now keep in mind, if element exists inside the array, it will return that element index or the position of that element. All right. And what if element does not exist inside that array? It will return as -1. When it will return as -1, in that case this condition will become true. Index will satisfy that, basically this condition will become true because index will be holding -1, and -1 equals to -1. So simply it will display this message. And what if element found? So it will return the position of that element or index number of that element, and that in that case this condition become false, and else block will be executed. So let's run this. Now suppose the size of array is 3 and this is the data, and we are looking for 33. 33 does exist, and 33 elements index number is 2. This is the 0th index, first and 2. I hope it is clear. Okay, thank you.